Hi, welcome. My name is Melinda Colettis. My husband Phil Griffin. Together we're Professor Chef and we teach you how to play with your food. So tonight's quick lesson is chicken and rice soup.
All right. So we need to start off our soup with something called a mirepoix. Mirepoix is carrots, onions, and celery. They're aromatic vegetables. I don't normally use celery a lot, but I do use it in my soups. The problem I have is we ran out of celery and we couldn't find it, so we're just doing carrots and onions. When we're cutting the vegetables for the soup, we want to cut them in a bite-sized piece. We don't want them really big because you're going to be putting them on a soup spoon. When we cut the carrots, what we're going to do is we're going to cut them in half. All we can find was baby carrots.
We don't like baby carrots because on the package it will say that they are washed, but they're really washed with something called a potato whitener, which is a nitrate. But we really
now I'm just going to line them up, and if I use my knuckles as my guide, I can slice the carrots without cutting my fingers open. Okay, carrots are done. All right. My bowl's here. Scrape it into.
And one just hit the floor. Do we?
One canola oil.
He's not talking to me today.
2 olive oil. I dropped one, so the cat will eat it. Put the carrots in. Now we're going to cut this onion. When you cut an onion, you're going to take and cut both ends off. Cut it in half. Remove the first piece of skin you can get your fingers on. This goes into the stock bag. We can talk about the stock bag in 2 seconds.
Just put it in the bowl. I'll take care of it.
The stock bag is behind us. And when you dice an onion, pretend there's a line right here, and then you make lines going through it without going all the way through.
Almost got yourself there.
No,
yeah, you did. Yeah.
Don't jinx him.
Huh?
Don't jinx him.
Normally he has everything all mise en place or cut before he starts. Why did he decide to do it this way?
So they can show them a little bit of knife skills while their stuff is sweating.
Oh, okay.
Is that okay with you?
All right.
When you make a soup, you don't want to saute your vegetables, you want to sweat your vegetables.
What's the difference?
Sweating is when you pull the moisture off the saute and you want to caramelize them and they get nice and brown. Okay. Put a little bit of onion in here. Save that for tomorrow night.
For an omelet.
Alright. Now we swirl it around. Get it nice and sweated. Alright, another thing, when you make soup, you can put everything all in the pot at once. If I was sauteing, I would never want to crowd anything like this. Alright, so now, the main thing, the hardest thing when you make soup is making stock.
It's not hard. It's just a little time consuming.
This is the time consuming process. So earlier today, I butchered a chicken. I'm going to use that chicken meat.
Oh, wait. The chicken was dead. You didn't kill a chicken.
I deboned the chicken because we're going to be using the meat tomorrow in the chicken marsala. I also put in some extra drumsticks in here, and that's what we're going to be using for the meat for the soup. Okay. So in here we have the vegetable scraps that we've been saving over the week, the chicken bones that we used. We didn't have a lot of carrot scraps, so we can use some extra baby carrots in there, or any other vegetable scraps. So now we're going to strain it.
So when we make stock, it's got garlic skin, onion pieces, carrot skins, carrots, any sort of veg with the exception of hot peppers, because they will make the stock very hot. Potatoes, because they may make the stock cloudy. The same goes for any hard squash, like a butternut or an acorn squash. Those skins don't go in. Did I miss anything?
Nope.
Okay.
Hot pepper seeds.
I did say hot pepper seeds. So when we go to make it, we're making a protein stock today, so we take a bag of those vegetables and a bag of those bones, put them in a pot, push them down, and put about an inch water over the top. we bring it to a boil, and then we reduce to a simmer. I think this one went about 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, it was a little frozen. So now we have
The bones and some of the vegetable scraps were frozen.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to take and try to skim off some of the fat. I swirl it around. If I boil it, makes it a little bit easier.
So normally what we do at this point is we would put this, let it cool down. So
Well, actually, what we've been doing lately, because we make a lot of stock, is we boil it and then we reduce it down from a gallon of stock down to a pint, and we have something called a glace or demi,
glazed.
a glaze,
So it would have a layer of fat on the top of it.
and that would help keep it from going bad. But if you put it in the refrigerator, the fat will come to the top, and this will make life a lot easier. So at Thanksgiving time, you would save this fat and you would make your roux with this.
If this was a turkey stock.
So this is a turkey stock.
Right, we're dealing with a chicken stock right now.
All right. So if you look at the vegetables right now, they've been pretty much sweated down. There's not all of them got that down there, right? But they look all pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my stock. Here we go. Okay, speak back to chicken soup. Right. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to let it simmer for about 20 minutes. The reason why you let it simmer for 20 minutes is you want to cook everything. Everybody thinks soups take a long time to make. Actually, soups are very easy to make if you prep everything up. You simmer it for 20 minutes because you want to have the vegetables be tender. Okay? I don't like my carrots being soft and mushy. I like them to have a little bit of bite to them. Not crunchy, but, they have a little bit of texture to them. So if we simmer this for 20 minutes, at the end of simmering it for 20 minutes, we would add the chicken. Now the chicken, I took off a little bit of some wings and some drumsticks. I laid it out on a cookie tray, let it cool down, and then I pulled all the meat off.
So this was from the stock. This chicken was actually in the stock originally.
Right. One thing you don't want to mention too is we get the baby carrots in there. Sometimes you have the onions. You never want to use those vegetables again to make your soup. You always want to start off with fresh vegetables. I pulled the meat off the bones, whatever was there, and I used my hands because I wanted to feel for any little bits and pieces that might be in there, like extra bones or pieces of gristle or something
Sometimes
like
it's
that.
that sharp bone or.
But for the sake of demonstration purposes, you would add your chicken, add the whole thing in, just for the last 5 minutes before you're ready to serve the soup.
Yeah.
Now when we make
So soup is not ready to be served because the vegetables aren't cooked. We're just doing.
we're just going to show you how to make it. So now, when it comes to the rice or the pasta, that is always cooked separately. The reason why we cook the rice or pasta separately is you put it in there right now, you put it into the end, it would cloud up everything and it would blow up. And if you leave it in there, you just get a mound of blow up like crazy. So now what we're going to do is put a little bit of rice in the bowl. All right. Put the rice in there. Put a little,
You can actually, you know that white rice that you get
put a little
with,
chicken in there.
with the Chinese food that, well, we don't eat it, but so you could use that in here as well.
Salt and pepper it. We're not going to salt and pepper it now because if I salt and peppered it now, it would concentrate down in flavor. Salt and pepper it, taste it, and then you can just take this and lay it over the top. You do not have to heat the rice up. The rice is going to be thin enough. If you have hot soup,
It'll warm it up.
warm it up.
There was something I wanted to clarify that you just said and I can't remember.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But here we go. Chicken and rice soup.
Bread?
All right. And we definitely want to serve that with some homemade bread. You guys saw that last night.
We've heard back from quite a few people, friends of ours who called us and told us that they were making this bread tonight as well. So if you did it and you had success, let us know. Post it on our web our Facebook page. So there you go, chicken and rice soup.
All right. And again, I'll get this boiling. You only want to simmer this. You do not want to have it boiling like that. Simmer is just a slow, naturally. Little bubbles come up every once in a while. You do not have to have a rapid boil. And when you're making stock, not a rapid boil. Let's talk about stocks. Bag of chicken bones, bag of vegetable scraps.
He doesn't listen to me.
You already talked about this?
Yes.
Talked about pushing it down, cold water?
Yes. I didn't say cold water.
Cold water.
All right.
Cold water, bring it to a boil, reduce it down to a simmer.
Yeah.
Yep. Any questions? Give us a call.
Or Facebook message us tomorrow night,
Polish chicken marsala, one of my favorite recipes.
And the night after that?
Bacon and bourbon brownies.
All right, we'll see you
Boy.
tomorrow. Bye, folks.
Bye.